Hey guys and gals, my name is Jason from GameRave.com, and this is, of course, Pause Mode. This week's episode takes place deep within the Neo Geo CD library, going all the way back to one of SNK's earliest releases dating to 1991, Ghost Pilots. A vertical shooter set around a Japanese Zero's seaplane, the game offers 1 or 2 player options and the usual 4 levels of MVS difficulty. What little story there is basically, you're an ace pilot with the Allies and you're off to go kill some enemy targets. Boom, done. Now, if you heard the words vertical shooter and raised an eyebrow at seaplane, you indeed heard me right. Rather than go for the stereotypical fighter jet or spaceship, Ghost Pilot takes a more cheeky approach to the heroic avatars. This was more than likely intentional, as it plays a visual metaphor for the game's difficulty and learning curve. The first step in the learning curve is that your little blue seaplane is grossly underpowered in every sense of the word. Armed only with the 2 most basic shooter weapons of the Gatling gun and the Mega Bomb, the former can be leveled up a few times. Even then, it really doesn't do that much extra damage, it just adds more bullets to your spread. The Mega Bomb comes in 4 varieties: standard big-ass explosion, front-facing napalm spread, a spinning circle that protects you, and then the air mines. The mines and the napalm spread are only available in certain instances, so no fretting when you can't find it at a selection screen. Now, weaponry aside, the seaplane's other huge hindrance is that it is slow as the system's loading times and really has no agility. You're essentially flying a slow-ass slab that can only go fire forward, while enemies can fly literal rings around you in every direction, as well as fire in any direction with bullets that are faster than your plane and your shots. Ghost Pilots is essentially one long journey split across 2 styles of stages, bookended by 2 extra long stages. Upon starting the game, you must choose between ground combat or aerial combat. The choice determines which enemy units will play a heavier role in the levels. Once you blaze past both sets, your final battle takes place against the usual colossal final boss. Knowing full well that this game came out in 1991, it's often criticized for its simplistic visuals. If we take into account its peers at the time, including Street Fighter II, Super Mario World, Sonic the Hedgehog, and Road Rash, Ghost Pilot's graphics really aren't that bad. The actual rolling armor and airplane sprites have some great little details, like different colored underbellies on the planes and separately destructible turrets on the tanks. There's nice little details like the tanks actually rolling off carriers and many of the enemy fighters having various flight patterns. If anything, the actual levels are what hold the game's visuals back, as they're standard and look cookie cutter as shooter levels go, right down to the village-like locales and the obligatory forests. Audio is fairly forgettable, and the only sound you'll truly recognize 20 years from now will be the goddamn continue screen countdown. Ghost Pilots, above all else, is just freaking impossible. Modern games have this bullet hell gimmick where they just throw thousands and thousands of bullets at screen for you to dodge. Ghost Pilot takes the approach that bullets are just too damn expensive and instead just throws the actual enemy units at you. At certain points in the game, there can be 4 different enemy types with their own bullets, their own sizes, and in flight patterns, all happening at once. If you're not used to playing a shooter, you will die, and die, and die, and die some more, and then continue and die some more. A fantastic game if you're a glutton for punishment. The final encounter is a multiple screen spanning mega tank with all the usual tricks of the previous bosses. As you can see in our handy visual aid, this isn't some 5-minute fight. Once that beast is defeated, a 10-second ending screen and 10 million bonus points are awarded, which might be appreciated if Ghost Pilots actually tracked your high score. It's like, after all that, there's nothing to show your hard work and you've been doing nothing but being picked on by an internet troll. If you're looking to snag a copy, the game maintained a steady value that bounces anywhere between $30 and $60 for the Japanese copy. $30 really isn't that bad of value for the game. Hell, that's about how many quarters I spent virtually continuing on the Neo CD version. For what roughly equates to a single hour's worth of gameplay, repeated infinitely, you're either in it for the long haul and challenge yourself to using fewer continues, or you can skip this to save up for the better shooters like Pulsar and Aero Fighters. Alright guys, that does it for this week. Have a great weekend. I will see you next week with more Game Rave TV, and as always, play, laugh, and love. We'll see you then.